This is for educational use only. Our group grants permission for our instructor, Mr. Roldan Ardinas, to use this as educational material. Good day, Marinos. In today's topic, we will be discussing the sustainable development and global food security. At the end of the lesson, the students will be able to differentiate stability from sustainability and articulate models of global sustainable development. Sustainable Development Goals, or called the SDGs, are a universal call to action established by the United Nations in 2015. Its purpose is to address the world's most pressing challenges by the year 2030. The composition of the SDGs consists of 17 interconnected goals aiming to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure peace and prosperity for all the people. Their approach emphasizes integrated solutions balancing social, economic, and environmental sustainability, while collaboration encourages countries, communities, and individuals to work together for a fairer and more sustainable world. The scope of the SDGs covers critical issues like quality education, gender equality, clean water, climate action, and responsible consumption. The benefits include providing a roadmap for future growth, preserving resources for coming generations, and improving the quality of the life today. Finally, their significance highlights the importance of global cooperation, innovation, and accountability to create an equitable and environmentally secure future. The definition of stability and sustainability. Stability refers to the ability of a system, organization, or environment to remain steady and resist sudden changes or disruptions. It involves maintaining a balanced state where processes, structures, and functions to continue to operate effectively over time. When faced with challenges or external pressures, stability ensures reliability and consistency, allowing systems to function without unexpected failures or breakdowns. Sustainability, on the other hand, is the capacity to maintain or improve current conditions without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. It focuses on long-term balance, integrating environmental, social, and economic considerations to ensure that resources are used responsibly and ecosystems are preserved. Together, stability and sustainability form the foundation for resilient systems that can endure change while promoting growth, equity, and well-being of both people and the planet.
For the next topic, we'll be talking about the models of global sustainable development. This includes several approaches that guide countries and organizations in achieving long-term environmental, social, and economic balance. First one will be the economic-centered model, prioritize in economic growth while integrating sustainability practices such as resource efficiencies and green technologies, which help reduce waste and optimize resource use for industries and communities. This model encourages innovation in businesses and infrastructures to support economic development while considering the environmental impacts of growth. Secondly will be the environmental-centered model. This primarily focuses on preserving natural resources, reducing pollution, and protecting ecosystems to ensure that development does not compromise the planet's health. It emphasizes conservation strategies, responsible resource management, and measures to mitigate the effects of climate change, providing a foundation for sustainable living and resilient ecosystems. Third one will be the social-centered model. This emphasizes equity, poverty reductions, and improving the quality of life for the communities while maintaining environmental and economic stability. This approach highlights social welfare programs, inclusive policies, and community-driven development, ensuring that all members of societies benefit from sustainable progress. Additionally, the integrated or holistic models combines economic, environmental, and social priorities, promoting policies and strategies that achieve sustainable development across all sectors. It encouraged collaboration between governments and civil society to create synergies that address complex challenges in a coordinated manner. These models serve as frameworks for decision makers worldwide to implement sustainable solutions that balance immediate needs with long-term global goals, fostering resilience, equity, and environmental stewardship. By following these models, nations can ensure that development today does not compromise the ability of future generations to meet their own needs, creating truly a sustainable global society. This topic will be the history of the Sustainable Development Goals, or the SDGs. It dates back to early efforts of the United Nations, or the UN, and other international organizations to address the global challenges, including poverty, inequality, and environmental degradation. The foundation of the SDGs was built on the Millennium Development Goals, or the MDGs, which were established in year 2000 to tackle issues like extreme poverty, hunger, and access to education by 2015. While the MDGs achieved significant progress in many areas, they were limited in scope and lacked comprehensive approach to environmental sustainability and social equity. This highlighted the need for a broader and more integrated framework that could address economic, social, and environmental issues simultaneously. So that in year 2015, the UN, or the United Nations, officially adopted the 17 Sustainable Development Goals as part of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. These goals expanded upon the success of the MDGs, introduced new priorities including climate action, sustainable cities, and responsible consumptions, applying to all countries, regardless of development status, and emphasized collaborations between government, businesses, and civil society. This history reflects a global commitment to creating a sustainable future that balances economic growth, social inclusion, and environmental protections for current and future generations.
So the topic is Sustainable Development Goals. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, of the United Nations form a comprehensive framework aimed at addressing the world's most urgent challenges by 2030. They begin with goals focused on human well-being and basic needs, no poverty, and zero hunger, aim to eradicate poverty and hunger in all forms, ensuring food security and sustainable agriculture. Good health and well-being seeks to provide quality healthcare for all, while quality education focuses on inclusive and equitable learning opportunities. Gender equality promotes the empowerment of women and girls, and clean water and sanitation ensures that everyone has access to safe water and proper sanitation. Affordable and clean energy supports access to sustainable and reliable energy sources, essential for development in all regions. The SDGs also target economic and social development alongside innovation and equality. Decent work and economic growth encourages productive employment and sustained economic growth, while industry, innovation, and infrastructure focuses on building resilient industries and promoting innovation. Reduce inequalities works to decrease disparities within and among countries, and sustainable cities and communities aims to make urban areas safe, inclusive, and resilient. Responsible consumption and production promotes sustainable practices to reduce environmental impact, and climate action urges to immediate measures to combat climate change and its consequences. Finally, the SDGs emphasize environmental protection, peace, and global cooperation, life below water, and life on land. Focus on conserving marine and terrestrial ecosystem, forests, and biodiversity. Peace, justice, and strong institutions encourage peaceful, inclusive societies with access to justice and effective governance. Lastly, Partnerships for the goals highlights the importance of collaboration among governments, the private sector, and civil society to achieve all the goals. Together, these 17 SDGs provide a holistic roadmap for sustainable development, balancing human needs, environmental protection, and global cooperation for the present and future generations.
The next topic is what is the most important sustainable development goal? So the sustainable development goals are all important because they are connected and support each other. But some experts believe that no poverty is the most important goal. This is because when people are lifted out of poverty, they can get better food, clean water, healthcare, and education. These things help them live healthier and more successful lives. If poverty is not solved, it becomes much harder to reach other goals like gender equality, good jobs, or strong communities. In this way, ending poverty helps build strong base of progress in many different areas. At the same time, climate action is also seen as extremely important. Climate change affects almost everything: food supplies, water sources, people's health, and the safety of entire communities. And these poor and vulnerable people the hardest. If climate change continues to worsen, the progress made in other goals could be lost. Protecting the environment makes sure the planet stays livable for future generations and helps keep development on the right path.
For the next topic is identify the factors leading to global food security and examine the state of the Philippines in terms of food security during the pandemic. Global food security is influenced by several key factors, including agricultural productivity, access to nutritious foods, stable food supply chains, and effects of climate change. Countries with strong farming systems, efficient transportation networks, and supportive government policies are better equipped to provide consistent food availability for their populations. However, global challenges such as extreme weather events, rising food prices, and disruptions in trade can threaten food stability, especially in developing nations. Poverty limits access to technology, and unequal food distribution further contribute to food insecurity, making it complex issues that requires coordinate international and local actions. In the Philippines, the state of food security during the COVID-19 pandemic became a major concern due to strict lockdowns, reduced income opportunities, and disruptions in food production and transportation. Many households experienced difficulty accessing affordable and nutritious foods, especially those dependent on daily wages or living in rural farming communities. Agricultural supply chains were affected by mobility restrictions, causing delay in transporting goods and contributing to higher food prices. Although government relief programs and community-based assistance helped ease shortages, the pandemic exposed long-standing weaknesses in countries' food system, highlighting the needs for stronger agricultural support, improved logistics, and better resilience against future crises.
The next topic is what are the 5 components of food security? Food security is built on 5 essential components: availability, access, utilization, stability, and sustainability. Availability refers to having enough food supplied through production, imports, and distribution. Access means individuals must have their resources, such as money, transportation, and market presence, to obtain safe and nutritious food. Utilization involves the proper use of food through safe preparation, balanced nutrition, and adequate knowledge of healthy diets, ensuring the body can absorb nutrients effectively. These 3 components work together to ensure that people not only have food, but also can use it in ways that improve their health and well-being. The remaining components, stability and sustainability, ensure that food security can be maintained in the long term. Stability means that people must have consistent access to food at all times without interruption caused by economic crisis, natural disasters, or seasonal shortage. Sustainability focuses on protecting the environment, managing natural resources, and promoting agricultural system that can support future generation. Together, these 5 components create a comprehensive framework that helps communities and countries build strong, resilient food system capable of meeting present and future needs.
What are the threats to global food security? Global food security faces numerous threats that affect the production, distribution, and availability of food worldwide. One of the biggest threats is climate change, which is bringing weather events such as droughts, floods, and typhoon that will destroy crops and reduce harvests. Rising temperature also affects soil quality, water supply, and overall productivity for farmlands. Other major threats include conflict and war, which disrupt food supply chain, damage agricultural infrastructure, and display millions of people who rely on farming for survival. Economic challenges such as inflation and rising food prices makes it even harder for vulnerable population to access nutritious food. Another significant threat is population growth, which increases demand for food while putting pressure for limited natural resources like land and water. Poor agricultural practices, soil degradation, and also loss of biodiversity also weaken long-term food productivity. Additionally, inefficient food distribution system, food waste, and unequal access to technology contributes to food security in many countries. These combined threats highlights the needs for stronger global cooperation, aim from agricultural resilience, and sustainability practice to ensure the food remains available, accessible, and affordable for all.
So next topic is food security possible. Food security is possible, but achieving it requires strong commitment, coordinated actions, and long-term planning from countries around the world. With advancements in agriculture, technology, and sustainable farming practices, nations have the tools to increase food production and improve the quality of available food. Equally important are effective government policies, reliable food distribution systems, and investments in rural development that empower farmers and ensure communities have consistent access to nutritious food. When these elements work together, countries can significantly reduce hunger and improve the stability of their food supply. However, reaching full global food security remains challenging due to ongoing issues like climate change, conflict, poverty, and unequal access to resources. These threats can disrupt food systems and make it difficult for vulnerable populations to obtain the food they need. Achieving food security will require global cooperation, strengthen resilience against environmental and economic pressures, and sustainable approaches that protect future generations. While difficult, food security is achievable if nations, communities, and individuals work collectively to build fair, efficient, and environmentally responsible food systems.